The Hubble Telescope is in desperate need of repairs, or humanity may lose one of the most iconic crafts ever assembled. As time is of the essence, NASA has come up with a genius solution that may save the telescope from burning up in Earth's atmosphere, but they may need the help of SpaceX to achieve this. Let's talk about the Hubble Telescope's importance even decades after launch, and how NASA can salvage the craft. Launched in 1990, the Hubble Space Telescope has played a transformative role in the field of astronomy. It has provided scientists with observations that have fundamentally altered our understanding of the universe. Originally designed for a 15-year lifespan, the telescope has exceeded expectations due to servicing missions. Despite the passage of time, it continues to yield intriguing new observations. However, recent malfunctions and predictions of its orbit deteriorating within a few years have raised concerns. There is a possibility that the telescope may burn up in the Earth's atmosphere. Despite these challenges, NASA remains determined and is actively exploring ways to rescue the legendary space telescope. Currently, it appears that SpaceX is the only entity with a viable solution. Since its launch, the world's premier visible light space observatory, the Hubble Space Telescope, has been captivating Earth with breathtaking images for 32 years. Currently orbiting at an altitude of around 322 miles or 535 kilometers above Earth, it completes one orbit approximately every 95 minutes. However, this iconic space telescope is not immortal. Hubble's orbit is gradually decaying, and if it degrades significantly, it will inevitably burn up in the Earth's atmosphere, bringing its mission to an end. NASA faces two options in dealing with this impending scenario. One option is to guide Hubble to break up over the Pacific Ocean, placing it in a spacecraft cemetery like previous space hardware. This would likely happen around 2026 or possibly by the end of the decade. The second option involves a mission to dock with Hubble in orbit and guide it back in a controlled manner, ensuring a specific descent. Alternatively, a spacecraft could dock with Hubble and boost it farther from Earth, potentially extending its operational life. Unexpectedly, recent events have accelerated the timeline of uncertainty for the Hubble Space Telescope. It has been facing persistent problems, raising concerns about its longevity sooner than originally planned. Following a malfunction at the end of 2021, NASA recently announced on November 29, 2023, that the aging Hubble Space Telescope, HST, has entered a safe mode for an unspecified duration. The cause of this transition is linked to issues with the system of gyroscopes, essential for pointing the observatory and maintaining stability during imaging. The HST is equipped with 6 gyroscopes, organized into 3 pairs, one primary and one backup. Normal operations require at least one gyroscope from each pair. During the last shuttle mission in 2009, all 3 pairs of gyroscopes were replaced, accompanied by a software update, allowing the observatory to function with just 2 or even 1 gyroscope, thereby extending its operational life. As of today, only 3 of these gyroscopes remain operational. The other 3 have naturally worn out over time. On November 19th, one of the remaining 3 gyroscopes started producing incorrect data, triggering the telescope to enter a safe mode and suspending all scientific operations. In the subsequent days, the NASA team overseeing the low Earth orbiting telescope made persistent efforts to restore the gyro system, but their attempts proved unsuccessful. While they briefly managed to correct the gyro operation, enabling Hubble to resume normal operations, glitches recurred on November 21st and 23rd. Consequently, the decision was made to leave the telescope in its safe mode until a more comprehensive assessment of the issue could be conducted. Although Hubble can function in a degraded manner with just 2 or even 1 gyroscope, this is suboptimal. Typically, there are between 2 and 3 breakdowns with Hubble each year, a frequency not unexpected for a vehicle that recently marked its 34th birthday. As always, the debate regarding a potential service mission surfaces, with compelling arguments on both sides. NASA, however, faces 2 significant challenges in this matter. The first hurdle is budgetary constraints. Despite being the wealthiest space agency globally, NASA lacks the financial means to fund a specific mission to address Hubble's issues. Moreover, political discussions in the fall included debates on reducing the budget allocated to the telescope in the coming year, further complicating the agency's ability to address the situation. The second concern revolves around the fact that, technically, Hubble should have been non-operational for a significant period already. However, its limited equivalents make it more practical to continue its measurements. NASA has made substantial investments, currently operating the James Webb Telescope, and the future Nancy Grace Roman (NGR) telescope is nearing completion. Even China is launching Suntian, its equivalent of Hubble, next year. Despite facing numerous comments each year urging NASA to save or retrieve Hubble, the space agency, responding to these calls, agreed last year to entertain proposals for various service missions. On September 22nd of the previous year, NASA and SpaceX jointly announced their exploration of using the Dragon spacecraft, the same type utilized for transporting NASA astronauts to the International Space Station, ISS, to visit Hubble. Later, on December 22nd, NASA issued a request for other commercial space companies to participate, provided that the manufacturers and operators could bear the associated costs. Billionaire Jared Isaacman, collaborating with SpaceX for the Polaris private space program, publicly submitted a proposal. The Polaris program, announced in 2022, aims to conduct up to 3 human spaceflight missions to demonstrate new technologies. The first mission, Polaris Dawn, is targeted for the fourth quarter of 2023, featuring the Dragon spacecraft carrying 4 astronauts to an altitude of 870 miles above Earth, the highest since the Apollo missions to the Moon. Isaacman suggested that the Hubble mission could be the second in the trio of Polaris missions, potentially extending Hubble's life by a decade. Furthermore, this opens up the possibility of using SpaceX's Starship in the future to remove the telescope from orbit and deliver it to Earth for placement in a museum. Isaacman has also floated the idea of repairing the Hubble telescope, emphasizing that it is technically feasible given the advancements in gyroscopes and computers, which are no longer the size of a refrigerator. However, not all experts share Isaacman's optimism about the possibility of repairing Hubble. Some have pointed out that the Crew Dragon, despite being funded by Isaacman's own resources, lacks both an airlock and a manipulator arm. Additionally, while the mission is privately funded, NASA would still need to allocate time and resources for its preparation and support. This could pose a challenge as NASA contemplates potential cost reductions for Hubble amid current budget constraints. Despite these considerations, details about the mission have not been disclosed by either NASA or SpaceX. The American agency received a total of 8 proposals, sparking debates about the best course of action for addressing Hubble's issues. On the SpaceX side, available options are relatively limited. Apart from the potential use of Starship, which could accommodate Hubble, a Dragon cargo ship or Crew Dragon capsule could dock with Hubble with some modifications. However, the complexity arises in determining the next steps after docking. Raising its orbit would be intricate, and the docking system would hinder astronauts from exiting. To address this, a robotic arm would be necessary to remove parts from the external trunk of the capsule, among other challenges. The feasibility of such an operation cannot be definitively ruled out, given the continuous advancements in SpaceX's technical methods. The evolving concept of a robotic arm may not present an insurmountable challenge. Furthermore, the full extent of Starship's capabilities, as a cutting-edge vehicle currently capturing global attention, has yet to be fully understood. It holds the potential to serve as a savior for Hubble. Regardless, the imperative remains: the Hubble Space Telescope must be saved. Failure to do so would not only be a profound disappointment for the space community, but also a missed opportunity for SpaceX to showcase its capabilities. Do you think the Hubble can be saved, or is a mission too expensive for the telescope that is now past its prime? Please share your thoughts in the comments below.